Could Europe's security now depend on France's nuclear arsenal? With tensions rising and Germany ramping up defense spending, French President Emmanuel Macron is signaling a major shift. As the U.S. scales back support for Ukraine, European nations are being forced to rethink their defense strategies. But does relying on France's nuclear shield make Europe safer, or does it push the region closer to war? Welcome to Preppers News from Prepper's Paradigm, news and global events with a prepper's perspective. I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. France is one of only two nuclear powers in Europe, alongside the UK. But unlike Britain, which remains closely tied to NATO's nuclear strategy, France has always maintained an independent approach. Until now, its arsenal has been seen as a national deterrent, not something tied to broader European security. That could be changing. President Emmanuel Macron has suggested that France's nuclear forces could play a larger role in defending Europe. This comes as NATO allies are under pressure to take on more responsibility, especially with U.S. aid to Ukraine in question. So what does this shift actually mean? Could France extend its nuclear umbrella to other European nations? How might Russia respond? And what are the risks for preppers if tensions escalate? Let's take a closer look. France has long maintained what it calls strategic autonomy when it comes to nuclear weapons. Unlike the United States and the United Kingdom, which integrate their nuclear forces into NATO's collective defense strategy, France has kept full control over its arsenal. It has never officially extended its nuclear umbrella to other European nations. But now, Macron is hinting at a shift. He has suggested that France's nuclear deterrent could play a larger role in protecting Europe, especially as U.S. support for NATO becomes less certain. This could mean closer military cooperation with European allies, or even the possibility of offering nuclear protection beyond France's borders. Not all European nations will welcome this idea. Germany, for example, has traditionally avoided direct involvement in nuclear defense. Poland and other Eastern European countries, on the other hand, may see it as necessary given the threat from Russia. Then there's the question of how Russia will react. If France takes on a bigger nuclear role, does that make Europe safer? Or does it put the continent at greater risk of escalation? For preppers, the biggest concern is escalation. If France expands its nuclear role in Europe, it could shift how conflicts unfold. Russia has already issued repeated warnings about Western nations increasing their involvement in Ukraine. If France positions itself as Europe's nuclear shield, it could make the country, and by extension, its allies, more of a target in any future conflict. There's also the economic factor. Increased military spending across Europe means shifting priorities for national budgets. Germany's recent defense budget expansion signals a broader trend. More money for defense often means less for social programs, infrastructure, and economic stability. For preppers, that could translate into rising costs, supply chain disruptions, and even economic downturns if tensions continue to escalate. Another key risk is how NATO responds. If U.S. involvement in European security continues to decline, NATO may have to rely more heavily on countries like France for deterrence. That could lead to a more divided alliance, which could weaken collective defense agreements in the long run. For preppers, that means one thing: more instability, and more reasons to be ready for the unexpected. France's nuclear policy has always been independent, but now Macron is hinting at a shift that could change Europe's security landscape. If France extends its nuclear deterrent to other European nations, will it strengthen Europe's defenses or increase the risk of escalation? With Germany ramping up its military spending and NATO facing uncertainty, the situation in Europe is evolving fast. For preppers, the key takeaway is clear. Rising tensions mean rising risks of economic instability, military escalation, or shifting alliances. What do you think? Does France's nuclear shield make Europe safer, or is it a dangerous move? Let us know in the comments. If you found this video useful, hit like, subscribe, and check out our website, preppersparadigm.com, for more updates. Thanks for watching. Stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next one.